Hey there, I'm Philip Brooks, digital strategist here at Comexis. Today I'm joined by Josh Lyons, our digital media associate.
Good afternoon.
Hi. So we're here to talk about one thing and one thing only, and that is the Philadelphia Flyers' new mascot, Gritty. Gritty has exploded throughout the internet in a viral marketing sensation that has transcended not only Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, but he actually showed up on Good Morning America this morning. So just to give you a little background, I am a diehard Flyers fan. I have been a Flyers fan since birth.
Same.
This hit me like a ton of bricks when it first hit, and I think that it's amazing just to see the reaction not only from people who are hockey fans, but people who aren't hockey fans, and then people who aren't Flyers fans particularly. Just how they've reacted to this unveiling. So Josh has compiled a lot of memes and things like that from the internet to just kind of talk about, mostly Twitter, right, I think?
Yeah, it was all from Twitter.
Yeah, so just some of the really great reactions that people have had, which have ranged from the hilarious to the terrifying. I think we can talk a lot about what the mascot actually looks like and some of the design decisions that they made, but I think really from a perspective that kind of relates back to Comexis, just the marketing value of this alone, I think we've all heard the phrase, any publicity is good publicity. I mean, if you're talking about a franchise who hasn't won a Stanley Cup since 1976, suddenly showing up the next day on Good Morning America and basically Gritty being the #1 trending hashtag on Twitter and one of the largest Google searches in a 24-hour period, you've succeeded in your marketing goals, I think, for the month. So
right.
Yeah, it's Josh can tell you. Josh has dialed into sports Twitter. He can tell you more about that than I can, but I can tell you just from my little part of the world where I'm just following Flyers fans and Flyers blogs and stuff. This was it started off really small and then it just went everywhere. So.
Yeah, I mean, a couple weeks ago, the Flyers social media came up with this campaign to sort of hint some sort of creature or mascot that's been lurking around the Wells Fargo Center, which is where they play.
Yep.
So they were putting out little 2-minute videos of their like strategy and like detective team finding little orange hairs and other things around the stadium, which all of us online assumed would be a mascot.
Yeah,
and the sort of the reaction at first of all the fans is, do we need a mascot? What's the point? It's a little, most NHL teams have mascots.
Yeah, I think there was 28 of the 31 teams currently had mascots until Gritty, so now it's 29 of 31. So
right.
It's not it's not out of the realm of what's already occurring. It's just that it's such a departure from any of the mascots that we've seen. It's got a very specific look that, honestly, in my opinion, at first for a second you're like that.
It's very terrifying.
Yeah. But one of the things that we were talking about before, it's really grown on people in the 24 hours since it blew up, and now it's become accepted. Which again, I likened it to the Maslow's hierarchy of you're just making these. Deciding and you're moving through the stages of grief, so to speak, until you really realize, this is here to stay. But honestly, from a marketing perspective, you can't buy this kind of publicity. So, as far as I'm concerned, the Flyers have succeeded, but some of the memes that are out there are just genuinely hilarious. There's been a tremendous explosion of GIFs and memes and all kinds of really great fun content surrounding this launch of a new mascot. And Josh has compiled some of the best ones from Twitter. I think, these are just kind of the tip of the iceberg, to make a bad ice pun.
We got to be a little respectable with it. So we hit whatever works the best that we can get away with.
Yeah. So we just talked about how many of the other teams have mascots, and a lot of them have social media presence. And to be honest, they were really some of the best reactions. The one that he's about to talk to with the Penguins, it turned me from to all right, he's
Right.
he's my boy now. I got it. So
Right. So if you don't know, the Pittsburgh Penguins are a huge, if not the biggest rival for the Philadelphia Flyers, and both on the ice and off the ice and on Twitter, they love to go back and forth. So Gritty did his post you saw early of him just announcing who he was, and they replied with LOL okay, trying to throw a little bit of shade. And Gritty, being as creepy as he is, with his oh so fascinating gif of him, says, "Sleep with one eye open tonight, bird." So it gets creepy, but you know, from that tweet on, you could tell that he grasped the whole Flyers Nation online. People, when you see the mascot throwing shade at a rival, boom, everyone's hooked.
Yeah, that was really, really well played by the Flyers social media team. I think that interaction alone, like I said, it won me over, and I think that you'll find that the majority of fans who were kind of on the fence were like, oh, okay, he at least gets this. It's not just a, weird publicity stunt for kids. There's some crossover attraction on that level for adults. And here are some other really, really good memes that we think that, kind of show how the internet really reacted to this, that Josh kind of compiled for us. But, take a look at some of these. Some of these are downright hilarious, and they're just the tip of the iceberg. Like I said before, check the hashtag Gritty, and you're going to see a lot of really funny content out there. And again, this is a really great example of how something that sounds crazy on the surface, that sounds like maybe it might be a mistake, really just took off and made the Philadelphia Flyers front page news for no reason 4 days before the regular season started, right, before they even played a game. So in that respect, again, it is, as a marketing tool, as an awareness tool, you can't get any better. So and take a look at his first night on the ice. I think we can really see that he really captured the moment and the magic.